Ooh wee What it do? What it do? All right.
What it
So,
do.
this is another one of lived experiences, and we're gonna be talking about surviving social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said surviving social media. Right. So as usual, what's just an overview? What do you see social? What do you class as social media?
Um,
Overview, big picture.
Overview, I would say Instagram because that's what I use the most.
Yeah, but
Um,
social media as a whole, how do you group it? What is social media to you?
to me, social media is any form of medium where I can express myself. That could be anything. It could be television. It could be my mobile.
So you're classing television as social media as well.
Yeah, because you interact with the people you follow, so you see them on the screen. So sometimes you can actually follow their lives, right?
Yeah, but you're not interacting with them on the TV screens. When they're like on a television program, you don't interact with them there.
Yeah, but then are you interacting with them on your phone?
No, it's not I'm not talking about the device you use.
Oh, okay.
Like it's a tool such as Facebook because you could actually interact and socialize with people there.
Yeah.
I could send a message, I can respond, things like that.
Yeah.
Instagram,
Yeah.
Twitter,
Okay.
and other
Means
tools.
yeah.
Yeah, in case one of them want to
Well.
sponsor me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, when it comes to social media, as I'm not really, as you know, I'm not. I'm only into one form of social media, which is Instagram. That's the only thing I use,
Okay.
and WhatsApp.
So that's the extent of social media for you.
For me, because
Alright.
that's the only thing that my mind can.
So yeah, so like I was saying, I guess it's just all these different tools that we have and use that allows us to quote unquote socialize with each other, especially with people that are in far reaches of the world and things like that. That's in theory what it's supposed to be, at least. Media, which allows you to better socialize, right? Or some form of interactive media, right? Anyway, so we're gonna start big picture.
Yeah.
Dude, in terms of like programming, that's the biggest thing I see with social media, right? There's pros and cons to it,
Yeah.
but there's programming happening here,
Yeah.
right? There's truth being told, there's lies being told, there's lived experiences, aha, but not just from like our perspective, but in terms of something is happening now. When the blast happened in Lebanon, right? We were able to interact with the people at the same time, see what was happening, be able to get faster response to these places. So speak on that, on the programming that takes place. Truth, lies, lived experiences, live updates. How do you feel about all of that?
In regards to social media, I think for me, I didn't realize that I had a level of anxiety until I started analyzing how, like, okay, for instance, let me just start from scratch. So for me, social media is kind of, it used to be, I used to use it as a tool to express how I felt. But then for me, it becomes quite overwhelming. So in regards to your question, um, repeat your question.
It's not a question. I'm just asking about programming.
When it comes to programming, you feel a sense of like having to show positive aspects of your life, or you feel immersed in other people's so-called life that they post. So it's actually quite weird that you cannot speak to somebody in person or on the phone or via messaging for a while, but you still know kind of what's happening within their life, which is I find really odd. So not
Why though? Why is that odd?
because as I'm old in some ways. I wouldn't say I have like an old fashioned mentality in the sense that I feel like you should contact people. Like sometimes when I see things on social media and I see my friends post things, I would message them directly because I'd rather just let them know that I've seen that rather than just watch their things and not message them. To me, that's really weird.
Okay, all right, let's get back. I'm talking about programming.
I don't understand that question then.
That's what I said. Truth, lies, all these things. Okay, so for me, right, there's a lot of programming in terms of social media, or at least a lot of the people behind some of the messaging try to push you or program people to be a certain way, to act a certain way, right? There's a lot of programming that takes place, like in terms of trends. They will push and try and set certain trends, let you think it's okay and it's normal to just, like nowadays, people just say F this and F that, and it's like common language now, right? Before, when you use a swear word, it'll be because your vocabulary is not wide enough for you to actually think of a better word. Now, using a swear word is just like having another word. So we've been programmed into thinking that, right? We've been programmed into thinking that, like women, that wearing makeup every single second of the day is great for you because it makes you beautiful. When beauty is like from within. You need to be comfortable with. No, if you're not comfortable with your own self, there's some people, they've never even, they can't even go to sleep or wake up and do stuff without putting makeup on first. I'm just talking one example.
Okay.
When it comes to men, right? It's all about programming. It's all about, oh, you need to have six pack. You need to have this type of muscle, or you need to be driving the fastest car, the most expensive this. You need to have the cash telephone. That's the kind of programming. Or even the programming of black men are criminals, right? Because most of the films you see would show black men being criminals in a film or being gangsters or something like that. It's all about these types of programming. Some of them, some of the programming push people towards doing better. Like there might be programming that tells you that, you know, if you educate yourself, you become a better person and all these types of things.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, there's all these things happening.
And also there is a trend now of some children, some young people I think in the States, literally having surgery to look like their filter, on Instagram. Okay.
Yeah, go on. Don't let me stop you.
I should have my own flag. Green, white, green,
We're not
Ninja
doing
for
this
life.
again. Yeah, go on. People on.
No, but there's a trend where you have young girls having surgery to look like their filter on Instagram or on Snapchat. I'm not sure which medium.
It's mad.
But that's now that's scary. I think for me that's where I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's scary.
Yeah, that type of programming is mad. Yeah, I just have some notes here, you know, old school. So that type of programming to me is mad, and it's like, how do we keep those people in check? We've gone to a point now where it's like there's hardly any control, if any at all, because people are able to say and do whatever they feel like without having or taking any accountability, right? You could literally just go on and just spread a rumor, just say anything that comes to mind, and it goes off like wildfire, and nobody even puts you in check. Or they might put you as an individual in check, but when a big organization does something crazy, you don't hear anything. Like it just goes unchecked, unpunished. You just hear, oh, lessons were learned. All these kind of nonsensical responses. Lessons were learned. We misread the environment. Just nonsense like that, right? So those are some of the issues that make social media a hard place to survive.
But I think there are beauty to it because there are some people who find it very difficult to express themselves one way or the other. And
how's programming help them?
okay, not necessarily program. I'm just saying more like social media as a tool to express yourself.
Oh no, well, we're just talking programming now. Okay, how has programming affected you?
For me,
positive or negative?
So around about 6 years ago, I used to have my hair in relaxer. I used to relax my hair a lot. And at some point, around 6 years ago, I was toying with the idea of perhaps going back to my natural state, my natural hair state. That makes sense. Yeah. So so social media, in my opinion, really did help propel that, because I was able to see images that made me feel confident enough to push, to actually to go for it and to just cut my hair. Like, I think social media in that sense programmed me to want to feel comfortable enough to do so, and to feel like there are images out there that made me feel comfortable and made me feel
So yeah, that's the thing. If you, that's what I was saying. If you start going down a specific path, the algorithms will push you in that direction. They'll start pushing similar content to that in your direction. So if you look at positive stuff, then you'll obviously be given more positive things, and hopefully start taking that on board and be programmed to be a better, more positive person. You know? All right, so let's look at social media in terms of health. We'll start with first the physical health. How has that affected you?
physical health. It's actually affected me.
Actually, let's just talk physical and mental health together. So how has social media affected your physical and mental health?
Okay, I'll start with physically. Physical health, it's affected me positively and negatively. On the one hand, I'm positively affected by it because it motivates me to do more. When I go on my social media, because I look at a lot of workout related things or physio related things or anything to do with the body and physical health, it propels me to do more. I feel encouraged and inspired to do more and to get new inspiration, new ideas for people. Whereas when it comes to when it and negatively also, it affects me negatively because I always feel like I'm not good enough, because I see amazing bodies on social media. Bearing in mind now, I know that sometimes people do have this. People sometimes are getting ready for competition, so their bodies will look different to when they're on season and off season. And also, some people edit things so it doesn't look right. It's not how it's meant to be. That's not how they normally are. So bearing in mind, I know that already, I still also get affected by it because I still feel like I'm not good enough. I would tell you this. I'm quite muscular. I'm quite like I'm shredder. Like I'm
Wait,
my
have
body.
they changed the definition of muscular?
No, but when I say muscular, I mean I have a athletic physique. And when I go into the gym, I still don't feel comfortable to just rip off my top and wear a sports bra. And the thing is, the people.
But that's the next thing, is like, why we think that's like the norm, to be
No,
walking around in a sports bra and all these things, right?
Because I work hard for it. Why not?
So this is the point I'm making. It's like there's no sense of reality anymore.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is that I should be at a point where I feel super confident to just do anything I please and want and be confident to just walk around like that. But I still don't, because I feel like there's an element of me not. This is what I'm saying.
A lot of the things people are doing nowadays is not because they want to. They like to say, "Oh yeah, I can do what I want because I'm No, you're not. You're doing it because social media is saying this is what everybody else is doing. That's why you cannot just look yourself in the mirror without makeup and feel comfortable. That's why you can't spend 5 minutes alone in a dark place and feel comfortable. That's why every 2 seconds.
5 minutes alone in the dark place.
Just wait. What I'm saying. That's why you can't even spend like 2-3 minutes without checking your phone every 2 seconds. Because there's no confidence. So all these things people saying, "Oh yeah, I'm this and that," mentally they're not there yet. I was saying before, growing up, like we had to use our imagination a lot, right? You weren't comparing yourself to the rest of the world. You're comparing yourself to Mike, who them fellas down the road saying he's on steroids, or to Missy, who last month she went to Brazil, and you see she come back with a ton of curves. You know what I'm saying? That's the people you're comparing yourself with, the people you actually see and speak to. Nowadays, I go online and there's millions of people, right, with fake bodies, Photoshop shit, all of them telling me this is what normal is. And we have nothing to compare to, no barometer of what normal people is, right? So in our heads, we're thinking, oh, something is wrong with me, something is it. These people lack confidence. Most of these things you see on social media, a lot of them are not real. Where's the reality they're based in, right?
Based on a new reality, a new type of reality.
And that's just from my experience, because growing up I had to like take bicycle tires and rims and play all kinds of games, play hide and seek. You had to be running around racing, doing all these things. When people play games or do stuff like that, it was on like Nintendos or don't get me wrong, I'm in technology, right? A lot of you don't know, but I work in technology. So I understand and appreciate the benefits and where we've come to. But it's never the tools, it's the use of the tools, the misuse of it. That's why a lot of people have all kind of mental issues. And the whole thing you kind of laughed at when I said about 5 minutes alone. Of course, people have mental issues. If you cannot sit with your own thoughts and calmly try and figure out where you went wrong for the day, what you can do to improve, focus on you and build yourself, then you're going to have mental issues. You cannot even spend 5 minutes on your own. You don't even like your own company. That's how bad it is. So, yeah.
I just think people just look at things differently. I think there are some people where we're going to another subject, but I feel like it's really tough as human being when we just look at each other and we judge each other based on our own narrative, and I don't think that's fair. I'm just gonna leave that there.
I understand.
Not everyone operates well with being silent. Not everyone operates well with speaking. Not everyone operates well with different things. People have different ways of understanding and learning about themselves, and I'm trying to say not one shoe fits everybody. It's just what works for you personally and what works for me personally, what works for that person. Silence is not a thing that you should use to compare about, to judge whether someone likes their own company or not.
No, I'm talking silence in terms of reflection. Every single person in the world should be able to spend some time reflecting.
But that doesn't necessarily have to be in silence. You can reflect. You can reflect listening to music. You can reflect writing.
When I say in silence, I meant in your own company. Like a lot of people cannot sit in a room with just music and their phone nowhere near them. They cannot survive that. I'm not making it up. That's not
your lived-in experience. That's your thought of what
okay, that's not my lived experience, but that's what I've heard from a lot of people, and I've seen and know a lot of people like that, who you're just around them, and if there's any bit of silence, first thing they do, they pick up their phone, like they're just lost. Now we're going to speak about connection and separation. Social media, like, how do you see it in terms of connecting with people and being able to get away from people? Have you used social media for those things? And like how?
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to connecting with people, I use it to connect with my friends. Sometimes I don't really speak to my friends on I use it to connect with my friends in terms of understanding and learning what they've been up to. And
especially as we're in COVID times now.
Yeah. So during the COVID time, we did a Zoom, we did a WhatsApp, it was a way of communicating with each other. But in terms of separation, I started practicing being away from my phone. I mean, generally, I'm not good with my phone.
No. Generally. I meant not from that point. We'll get to that in a bit. But I was talking in terms of, do you use social media to get away from things, like to give yourself some space from stuff that's happening in reality? Alright, so I'll say for me, like sometimes if, like, let's say I might be doing something for work and I'm just a bit stressed out and I just want to quote unquote zone out for a bit. I'll just probably pick up my phone, and because Instagram is a funny kind of thing. I mean, all the other tools, right? Facebook, all of them, Twitter. It's a funny thing where sometimes you open it and you end up just scrolling and not really focusing on anything, you know? So it kind of like takes you away because I like a lot of photography and things like that. So I might be there looking at pictures that people take of like sunset or even like a Fallers guy. Most of y'all probably do as well. Peter McKinnon, looking at some of his pictures or even YouTube, watch some videos there just to separate myself from everything that's happening in reality, right? But also I use it to connect as well, right? Sometimes you use it to connect with some people and other people you don't want to connect to see you and then they try to make connections. So you're like, shit. What do I do? Do I accept? Do I reject? Or maybe I accept it, but I mute the thing. So there's all these weird ways of having to deal with people, whereas before, you just not speak to the person. Or if they want you, they'll pick up their phone and call you. Or back in the old school days, they'll write a letter, post it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could use it in all kinds of ways in terms of separation. All right, now let's talk about monetization, like having alternative sources of income. This will be interesting. Off you go.
It's a weird one for me.
Is it?
Because I know I mean, it's a weird one for me.
Talk to the people.
I mean, because I feel like I can't articulate it right now.
Replace me with Kermit the Frog and the T.
I can't articulate it right now because.
So this is the thing.
You take it personally, and
no. What's what we have to say?
No.
Say what you have to say. I'm talking about no. This is what the whole point of this is. This is a lived experience. Monetization. I see this thing as finding a way to create some form of passive income, right? Obviously, you're trying to share and hopefully help people. So you need to have a good cause behind it, right? That's why I do a lot of my fitness stuff. Hopefully somebody sees something that is useful to them. I've had some really wonderful people leave comments saying, "Oh, this is nice. They've tried this. Thanks for sharing this, blah, blah, blah." So all these things make me feel good and make me want to do more, right? Also, I like to voice my opinion on things that, especially related to Black people, right? Things that I think would be positive. If you look at my videos, you don't really see any kind of negativity because the whole channel is about strong body and mind, right? Helping build strong mental people, ensuring your circle is stronger in all ways. So I think I should be also able to monetize it, make something of it. But it's been really difficult for me on YouTube in particular because not many people are subscribing or even commenting or watching the content, and they're not giving feedback. So that's one thing. And my thing is, like, I also say to Abby, like, why don't you share my stuff? And she's
So look, I'm not that person. First and foremost, First and foremost, even in my personal life, I don't even go on YouTube. I don't even go on YouTube unless there's like a dance video that I want to watch.
But you're doing it for me. I'm asking you to do it for me.
Unless it's like...
Not for you.
Unless... I don't even watch YouTube generally.
You ain't got to watch it. You just have to share it because I'm doing it and I've asked you to.
It. I do.
What?
Anyway,
talk to the people.
I'm not necessarily a social media person in that sense. Okay, maybe I'm not a YouTube. I'm not into YouTube like that. For me, I find like something like Instagram is quick and sharp and it gets to the point, done. You move, you see it, you read it, you're done. Like it's just very easy. It's very easy for me for my mind to wrap around the idea of it. It's just very easy. It's like stagnant. It's just da 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 da.
So for me, the difference between like an Instagram and a YouTube is that Instagram is so short. The snippets are so short. It's very difficult to give off meaningful content. That's why you see most people most men on Instagram who'd be making money, they have to be more or less naked. Women, same thing. You have to show skin in order to get skin in the game, to actually grow your numbers, and then from that you can then get like influencer deals and all kinds of stuff. Whereas with YouTube, even if people don't follow you, you can still put meaningful content out there that can help people. So that's my thinking of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's taking me a while to get my head around it because I genuinely
In the
used to-
meanwhile,
and
other people are becoming millionaires. And I'm not saying I'd be one. I'm just saying I'd like to have another passive source of income. Go on.
yeah, but I also feel like it's your idea to do it for the passive income or for inspiring people.
Doesn't have to be or.
Okay.
A lot of people are doing stuff because they love it and they want to inspire people, and off the back of their hard work, people support them, and then they make money. Because a lot of times, the people who do it, they have to go buy their own camera, set up their lighting, get their microphones, all these things off their own back, just so they can provide content.
But then it's a choice that individual makes, so it's not necessarily something that has to be affected by
Yes.
somebody else's.
It doesn't
has
have to be.
affect anyone else,
But if
really.
I'm a person there who's trying to help as many people in the world, and I am doing that, then it would be really nice if those people would then say, you know what, we appreciate you. Here's a rose before you die. Smell it. Here's a flower. Smell it. Smell the flowers before you die. Just a little bit of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The final topic, resetting, right? This is actually basing yourself again, coming back to reality, taking a break from social media, cleansing your mind, right? I generally think that at least, let's say every quarter, so every 3 months, you should at least take a week off social media, like completely off of social media.
That'll be tough for you.
No, it won't be. I've been off social media for longer than that. I'm telling you.
when we before.
No, wait. The
You
only
s-
reason you could say it'd be tough for me is because I want to put out content. But if you see, I'm trying to make content. But I could make content and just put it out there and just leave it. Right? It's not going to be... Why would it be tough for me?
Because you're always on your phone.
I'm not always on my phone. You know that. I'm not always on my phone.
Maybe when I'm around, you're always on your phone.
That's not true. That's not true. I'm not.
Try to escape.
I'm not.
Oh shit, phone.
I'm not always on my phone. Right? But yeah, take a week or two. Matter of fact, what you can do, if you can't do it every quarter, then let's say twice a year you take a month off. Right? Or 2 weeks, whatever the case might be. But it's always good to rebalance, reset, take some time off, talk to people around you, get back to reality. You'll see there's such a huge difference in speaking to people online and speaking to them in reality, right? Ground yourself in the now. Like a lot of the times, if you're walking and you're scrolling through
Work
stuff,
on
you don't really...
on the people that's in your intimate circle. Help grow. You know, help grow.
What, you think you're Dr. Phil?
Help grow your inside circle and make sure it blossoms.
So what have you done? How have you dealt with resetting?
I mean, I'm quite good at it recently. I'm really.
What's that? You taking 5 minutes away, it doesn't count.
No, there are times I don't even go on my social media. Okay, so for me,
an hour?
I'm not usually with my phone all the time.
That's
You
true.
can attest to that.
That is true.
I mean, sometimes you can message me, and I won't read your messages maybe until the next day when I'm on the tube heading to work. The next day, that's when I would read it. And let's say you message me 5 o'clock, and I'll only see it, or I only pay attention to it when I'm on my way to work, and that's when I usually tend to go on my phone.
It's called a mobile phone. Mobile meaning it can move around with you.
But the thing is, I don't feel like I need to be holding my phone everywhere because I actually genuinely, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I do get anxiety, like getting all these messages and all these texts and all these like notification. I swear, I feel like it's just a lot. It's too much for me sometimes. That I have to just take a break. I have no shame. I'm like, nope.
So, solutions, right?
Nope.
As you talked about that.
No.
If you have,
Not
if
again.
you're
Fine.
okay, if you have, like, if you're in a lot of groups, right? Even if you don't get messages too often, just go ahead, and especially if like you work within a certain set of hours, mute your groups. Just mute them, or certain times during the day, put your phone in airplane mode, right? Guess what? It'll save you money, especially if you're not on a contract. It will save you data and money, right? Also, it will allow you to focus on what you're doing and not be worried about messages coming through, because that's something you'll see also. People who are so hooked onto their phones, even when the phone doesn't go off, they check it every now and again. Oh, nobody messaged me. What's going on? So it's a madness, right? So
People who are not using. Are you speaking about yourself?
no, what are you talking about? This is a reality.
Mm.
It's things that people do. So the next thing is, like I say, every couple months or whatever, take a break off social media, all of it. Like, sign out of everything if you need to, or just don't log into it. If you have the app on your phone, uninstall it for that period, right? All these things help. Also, another solution is to actually put more effort into speaking to people around you, or making phone calls instead. Hear
I
someone's
love phone
voice.
calls.
Speak to them in
Oh,
real
I
time.
love that. I hate texting. I think it's just a lame's way. It's just lame.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
not lame.
it's a very sad way of communicating sometimes. I feel like texting is only should only be done.
It's cheaper a lot of the times, but
I don't think it's
but
not cheaper with this
it
current
is
situation where
cheaper.
we can have unlimited minutes
In
now.
this country, that's what you're talking about. In this country,
But
in the West,
also people
the
have
world is not
unlimited
the West.
data. They have
Where?
Wi-Fi. You can connect to Wi-Fi. You can speak to
Yes,
somebody.
in a lot of countries, the Caribbean, for instance, you're not gonna see Wi-Fi everywhere like that, right? Plus, data data gets eaten out every time you use these services, so you can't just quickly make a call. But you can use text messages. Just try not to make it your main source of communication.
I
Means
just
of
feel
communication.
texting to me. I've always hated it.
That's
I would rather have a conversation that lasts probably 5 minutes, but also covers the whole entire texting.
okay. So that's you talking to your local friends here. You're talking about in the Western world, where data is like cheap, Wi-Fi is everywhere, and all these things. That's the environment you're talking about.
Maybe, yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, because in other places, people will be like, yo, can you call me because I run out of data, or there's no Wi-Fi here. I'll talk to you another time. That's the reality, right? Anything else you want to add in helping people to survive social media, to cut off and reconnect?
My thing is just don't make it your life. Don't make it everything. Like, understand that you actually do have you actually do need to experience life and take note of the people around you. That's my thing. Like, it's not about what's happening out there. It's about what's happening in here. And when here is good, out there will feel better. But if this is not good, then it'll be a shit show out there.
Cool. All right, guys. I hope you like this one. Any comments, anything you have to say, drop it in the bottom.
And I will post it to my friends.
We'll see about that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I give it a last word, whatever you want to say. Talk
Subscribe.
to the people. I've already said that. What do you want to say?
Enjoy your day and just be blessed. And I know watching this is kind of going against everything, but it's not. I just think enjoy yourself, enjoy life, and enjoy the people around you. Love was what do I always say? I always say with my friends. I always say love and light. Love and light.
I don't have time for that hippie nonsense.
Love and light to all y'all mofos.
No time for that hippie nonsense.
It's not hippie.
It is.
It's very nice because light brings
energy. I said you'll have the last word. Anything except love and light.
Love and light. I like
something
love
else.
Light. Love the people around you and cast light upon them with your.
All right.
with your
Later.
heart.
Later.
Mwah.
Love and light.
I like saying love and light.
Good luck with that. No, you put back the chair. Love and light.
3, I think.